Welcome to another edition of Get Victory. I'm Ed Crenshaw, pastor of Victory Church, Philadelphia, and we're honored that you have joined us for this moment of encouragement. It's Good Friday, and today I'm thinking of that fantastic Grammy-winning worship song, What a Beautiful Name. That song is especially powerful for me for a couple of reasons. One, I heard it for the first time when I went to Sydney, Australia for Hillsong Conference in 2016, and it was a part of a powerful experience of the Spirit of God at a time that I really needed that. I need that all the time, but I especially needed it then. Also, the very first time I heard that song was not at the conference itself, and not even at the main Hillsong Church campus, but at their smaller Greater West campus, pastored by Jay Jury, where the worship leader was my daughter Haley, who is a student at Hillsong College, working on her master's now. And I shouldn't leave out the fact that our younger daughter Anna is also a student there too. But back to the song. The line that I'm thinking about here on this Good Friday is, "Death could not hold you, the veil tore before you." Death could not hold you, the veil tore before you. And that comes from Matthew chapter 27. And we'll read those verses starting with verse 50, which tells us, "When Jesus had cried out again in a loud voice, he yielded up his spirit. At that moment, the veil of the temple was torn in two from top to bottom. The earth quaked and the rocks were split." So the veil tore before Jesus. But it didn't happen for Jesus, it happened for us. The curtain kept humanity out of the holiest place in the temple. Only the high priest could go in, and he could enter only once a year, because this was the place of God's presence. But when the curtain was torn at the death of Jesus, we were suddenly all given access. When did the curtain tear? At Jesus' death. That means Jesus' death is what gives us access to the presence of God. The result of that we can read in Hebrews, which tells us that we don't come before God by the blood of bulls and goats. We come by a new and living way. This is what Jesus had in mind. This is what the Father had in mind when he allowed that curtain, that veil in the temple, to be torn in two to give us access to the holiest place, which is not a place in a temple, but in the very presence of God himself. So the writer of Hebrews says, "Let us draw near to God with a sincere heart and with the full assurance that faith brings, having our hearts sprinkled to cleanse us from a guilty conscience and having our bodies washed with pure water. Let us hold unswervingly to the hope we profess, for he who promised is faithful." So we come into the presence of God, knowing that our God has invited us and has made a way through the blood of his Son Jesus. That truly makes this Good Friday. This Good Friday is taking place during a very challenging season. So let's remember that we still have access to God's presence. We might not have access to each other, and we might not have access to gathering together for a Good Friday worship service, but we have access to the presence of God. And as a result, we can hold on to our hope because God is certainly faithful. I want to encourage you, if you're watching this early enough in the day, to tune into our online Good Friday worship service at 7 p.m. You can find it at getvictory.net. Remember, our God is faithful, and he'll be faithful to you. God bless you. I trust this word has been a source of strength and comfort to you. During this trying time, our church is bringing you these words every day, Tuesday through Saturday. Also, you can join us online for our live stream services on Sundays at 9:15 and 11:15 a.m. You can find the links to all the online resources to stay connected as God's family at getvictory.net. Until next time, let's stay in God's presence and peace.